Hello, my friends. I'm going to title this recording "Suffering is not necessarily a bad thing." In fact, I'm beginning to believe that suffering is hardly ever a bad thing. I have come to understand that everything in life, all our life experiences, or experiences in this life as we know it, are are to teach us a lesson or lessons. And I remember as a child, as a youngster, I used to hear the elderly say, when they were going through one suffering or the other, death of a child, death of a spouse, um, you know, personal suffering. And they usually say that they believe that God was trying to teach them a lesson. And I would hear them say, I wonder what lesson God is trying to teach me. Or I would hear them say, what is a lesson to be learned in this experience? But it was in 2012 when I went through some of the deepest pain of my life experience that I came to understand what they were talking about. And since I am a Bible believer, some of the scriptures in the Christian Bible came alive to me during my suffering. And one of them is that all things work together for my greater good. All things work together for my greater good. So, point I'm trying to make is that all of our life experiences are to teach us a lesson, a lesson to be kinder, a lesson to be more compassionate towards others, a lesson to be more patient, a lesson of humility, a lesson. Sometimes we can't put a label or a name or word to the lesson, but teach us a lesson so that we can be a better person, or life experience can be more fulfilling and more rewarding and more purposeful. Now, one thing I have learned also is that when some hardship and pain comes into our life, the quicker we realize that there's a lesson to be learned, the better it'll be for us. The quicker we realize that whatever this is to teach us a lesson. And the quicker we realize that, and the quicker we learn the lesson, because oftentimes in the stillness of the moment, in our meditation time, in our quiet time, God or Great Spirit or the universe, whatever we choose to call that great being, is trying to teach us a lesson, and that being will reveal to us what the lesson is. If we would be still, we will know. And once that is revealed to us and we learn the lesson, or we accept the lesson, then I believe God or the universe will move on to something different. But the longer we take to learn the lesson that we're supposed to learn from the experience, then what I believe is that God or the universe or Great Spirit keeps putting different experiences in our life that are usually not pleasant because we are taking so long to learn the lesson. For example, if we're by and large not a compassionate person, tender and compassionate, because we've never really had any, if we're not tender and compassionate towards people that are physically sick, for example, because you've never had a headache, you've never had a joint pain, you've never had a tummy ache, you've never been sick. There are such people. They have no idea what other people are going through. So when you're suffering, they brush it off. And they have no compassion and tenderness towards that person that is suffering. Well, it seems to me that God, Great Spirit, the universe, will put some suffering in your life for you to understand what it feels like to have a severe headache or bellyache or joint pain. And if you realize that this is a lesson to be learned so that you can be more compassionate towards those that suffer, then I believe the quicker your pain will be relieved, and it's highly likely that you won't have to suffer those physical pains anymore. So that's been my experience, and that is now my belief. So everything that we go through in life is for a reason. Is to teach us a lesson, to make us a better person, more caring, more compassionate, more understanding, deeper spiritual person, more supportive, okay? And the earlier we learn those lessons, the better it'll be for us, so that God and the universe can move on to giving us some pleasant, more pleasant experiences. So it seems to be that if I'm very, very comfortable, because like cruising as it were, because things are doing so well, I tend to get pompous and not as caring about other people's situation. And I find that oftentimes that's when God or the universe puts a challenge in my life to kind of get me back on track, to being the kind human being that I'm supposed to be towards my brothers and sisters. Okay, just a thought. What do you think? Take care.